I think there's a way to teach your kids work ethic that's not them being an employee. Starting their own business of mowing lawns or something is totally different.
Okay. There we go. Because I actually would prefer for my children, rather than like working as an employee at another business, I'll prefer for them to start their own, because then they have to work every single job. You have to wear every hat when you own the business, and it's a small business and you're the only one doing it. That's your job. And I think that
inherently is different than what I was saying, though. Even
then, though, like if our kid worked 8 hours a week, like they just worked on a Saturday, they would still have all day Sunday and all the time after school for extracurriculars, hanging with friends. Are you talking
about a 16-year-old?
Yeah, like if a 16-year-old.
Okay, that's also different. But
yes, I don't see our kids working when they're 15. Actually, I was mowing lawns when I was 15.
Okay.
But like 16, yeah.
I was babysitting when I was 15 and stuff. I was working. I think I worked as a kid too. I'm just saying, to force your kids, say like, you need to have a job because you have to learn work ethic this way. And maybe there's an extenuating circumstance where like the kid is very disobedient and they need that structure. Then that would be a different circumstance also. I'm just saying in general, I don't think that I would want my kid to work a job in high school.
Okay. I would almost be on the team of, you have to do, minimum like 6 hours of work a week, but you get to choose what it is. So you could start your own business. You could go work at McDonald's. You could work at the movie theater.
Kids work so much, Matt. You do not remember the workload of homework, your extracurriculars that you could be involved in. They need to have some time.
And it does. Well, yeah.
Just like anybody.
And obviously it's going to be situational, right? Like when my brother mowed lawns, like I did too, but when he was in the peak of football season or baseball season, he would slow down on the work. But then in the summertime, when he had a lot more free time, then both him and I probably worked 10 to 20 hours a week in the summer, especially when it got to be peak lawn mowing season.
I worked full time in the summer.
Yeah,
but it was my choice.
Well, that was once you were in college. You weren't working full time when you were in high school, did you?
Well, the summer right after high school.
Yeah.
Actually, no. The summer right after junior year, I did too.
You watched kids full time?
I nannied full time.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, as someone that did that, and I think my kids should have the opportunity to, it just has to be child-driven, child-led. Like, I don't...
1,000%.
Okay, but you just said I want to have the rule of mandatory 6 hours a week of work.
Okay, and
then I'm like, okay, now you're just doing the same thing that you were saying you didn't want to do, which is micromanage your kids.
That's completely different. You see how it's...
Okay.
Wait, do you see how it's different, though? Because they choose what that is. That can be anything that they want.
Okay.
They could babysit. They could mow lawns. They could go work at McDonald's.
I just think
literally whatever
I think that we're talking about all these external things, whereas like I'm more so worried about developing in my kid work ethic. I honestly needed the opposite in my life. Like my parents would tell me like, don't keep doing your homework. Go to bed. Like don't finish assignment.
Yeah.
And I think that like I'm just gonna read my kids, be like, okay, are they struggling like a little bit with laziness or like things like that, engage it. And I think that's also why my parents probably sometimes would bring me my stuff and not my brother his stuff, because they knew that was probably because he was choosing to not be proactive, whereas mine was an honest mistake. And I think that this whole conversation has to be understand, like we have to view parenting through the lens of each individual child.
I agree. Maybe the rule, right? Like I want our kids to make the decisions for themselves on what they want to do. We have to have hard and fast rules as parents, but at the same time, I want them to like be steering the ship. I want them to decide if they want to play football or do ballet, whatever the heck they want to do. I want them to do that and love it, because that's like more important than anything. But I think when it comes to the mandatory things, I think maybe we make the house rules very minor. Like maybe the rule is, we expect that you work, 4 hours, like it could even be 2 hours a week, but just I think making that an expectation to like it's important for me to do some sort of work so I can understand how money works, I can understand business, and they could do the bare minimum, or if they love it and they love owning their own business, maybe that becomes their thing. Like I don't know, I want them to be the one to make those decisions, and I think we just need to, like you said, base everything we do off of each kid, because every kid is so unique and different, and it's not a one size fits all when you're parenting one kid versus another.
And say your kid is going to school all day, every day. They have extracurriculars. They want to hang out with friends. It's like that short little time that we do have with them. I want to be as a family. Like I don't want them to be off at work. Like. And so there's just, watch me cry right now because thinking about my kids leaving for college. My kids are babies, but it's like their childhood is so short. Like,
you're right.
that's something to be preserved, and you're a family unit living together for such a short amount of time. Like, just preserve it. And I think ultimately it boils down to, we totally agree. We're totally aligned. We want our kids to be hardworking, passionate about what they do. We want them to find what they love. We want it to be child led, and we want them to also like enjoy their life. Like, I think we agree on all the important things here.